So whenever I evaluate a small business and I'm looking for a management style or scheme, if you will, for that company, it'll fall in one of two basic categories. And the first category is what we call the CEO model, where the owner takes the role of the CEO and they orchestrate by delegating and putting strong people around them. They don't do the doing every day, but they orchestrate and they set policy and they manage and empower and enable, manage cash flow, look for growth opportunities. They're a true CEO, right? They're not a producer. Or we have what we call the LeBron James model, all right? And the LeBron James model is this, and I know I'm going to spark some controversy here, Ed. This is for another podcast, I'm sure. But LeBron James right now, I'm not going to say greatest of all time because we have the whole Michael Jordan conversation. But LeBron James right now is pretty much the best player in the NBA, right? He's one of the best players, okay? But if you don't like LeBron James and you have somebody else in mind, use him. But everyone knows who LeBron James is, so I use LeBron James. You go with the LeBron James model. Well, you know what? They're never making another LeBron James. You know, you can't scale him, right? So what do you do with him, the best player on the court? Do you take the ball out of his hands, make him CEO, put him on the sideline, and then have everybody else play? Or do you say, look, we have a generational talent here. Let's give him the ball, get the hell out of his way, give him some good support players, and then we'll put somebody else on the sideline to be the CEO and run the business. And so let's say we have somebody who's running the business and they know that they're just not really the best person to be doing it. However, they can play a very useful role in the business. So here's what you do. You fire them from being the CEO. They're not good at it. They don't do it well. But let's say they're good at sales. Or let's say they're good in the warehouse. Or let's say they're good at finance. Or let's say they're good in operations or dispatch. Give them a job they're good at. Fire them from CEO and put a general manager, CEO there. And that person they get fired into their job, but they're also on the board to set policy because they're the owner, right? Put them up in the owner's box, set policy, do all the annual strategic planning, the corporate objectives, then go back and do your job wherever that is. And then you have a general manager or CEO whose job is to, or president, whose job is to run the business. So if truly, the family members are untouchable, you go with the LeBron James model. You find where they can be good producers within the system. They still are on the board because they're owners, but put somebody else in there to run the business. There's that option. If they were to reapply for the CEO job, they probably wouldn't get it. There's almost no viable scenario where they stay in the CEO role and the business survives. It's so rare. And I'm usually the one that has to have that heart to heart. I know you just hired me to advise your business, but guess who's the first person we're firing is? You can't do the role. We got to find a new role for you. And sometimes what we'll do is, and I love this when I see this in email signatures and I tell my clients, I'm like, you got to stop this because it shows you don't know what the role is. I love it when a small business owner says, I'm president, CEO, and founder. I said, those are two different, like president and CEO are two totally different jobs. I said, CEO is much more of the ambassador, sovereign, face of the company role. President is a lot more tactical. So if you're going to be CEO and there's no way around that, then let's hire a president. Hire a president, they'll run the day-to-day or make them COO or VP of ops or something along those lines, GM, managing director, managing partner, something along those lines. But get somebody in here who knows how to run the business because you can. And that is, that's a hard pill to swallow. But if they're bringing in somebody to give them guidance, there's a part of them that knows it's true. And they just don't know how to exit gracefully with dignity and also reassure the company that they're on a good trajectory.